Everybody, welcome back to Tammy Talks. I am Tammy, and tonight, we are talking about Married at First Sight. This is season 13, episode 10, Locked Out. So, if you are back again for another week and you have not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead, click the subscribe button, thumbs up the video if you enjoyed the content, leave a comment, and let's talk about these awful couples together. So let's get started with Rachel and Jose, the big bang of the episode. So the episode starts off with the experts sent over some. Looks like everybody got like a jar full of like little pieces of paper that had different questions and prompts on there. My phone. They had different questions and prompts on there for them to answer, just like some talking points for them to talk through. And Rachel said that she has grown from her cheating back in the day and she doesn't do that anymore. She realizes the error of her ways, blah, blah, blah. She's past that. Jose is still stuck on the fact that she cheated in the past. Even though he wasted someone's time for 4 years with a child involved, he's concerned about her cheating and then still being with that person who clearly forgave her and moved on past it. So Dr. Viviana finally stops by. It's about time we see the experts. Like, what are y'all getting paid for at this point? Because, like, y'all are matching people up and then y'all disappear. Lord knows we ain't seen Dr. Pepper. Week 10, we ain't seen Dr. Pepper. So Dr. Viviana stops by and she asks them how their sex life is going. They ain't had sex. They lied, y'all. Because she's asking them, how's the sex going? Is it good? Whatever. We are all adults. These are adults. These are legally married, consenting adults. And they're sitting there blushing. I don't know. It's okay. And it's like, is it good or not? Like Dr. Viviana was like, y'all was tea. Is it good? Do you like the physical act of it? Do you like, how close your bodies are? Do you just like the sex part of it? What is going on? To me, the fact that they could not answer and they couldn't even just say, yeah, the sex is good. Sex life is great. They couldn't even give a casual answer like that. Y'all didn't have sex. Y'all didn't have sex. Y'all are lying. Y'all didn't have sex because Jose don't like you. So next we have what gets to the big shit for them. So Jose tells us it's like using camera footage, like home camera footage from his cell phone. And he is telling the camera that they were upstairs kicking it at the clubhouse, having a conversation, and Rachel called him by another man's name. Freudian slip. I think what they're kind of forgetting is you have just met this man. Y'all have been married, I think it's 27, 28 days. Freudian slip. That's all I take it as. Granted, we are not there. They don't have the footage of it, so we don't know. But to me, it sounds like a Freudian slip. So they cut to the next scene, and Jose little sassy ass is back there going in on her, y'all. Talking about well, you can leave, get the fuck out, and fuck you. And he did everything but call her a bitch. Like, he was really, like, telling her to go on and get the hell on out the house and fuck you. I'm going to tell you what you're not going to do. A man would never be in my face telling me fuck you. That's what's not going to happen. Absolutely the fuck not. And the way that Jose was talking to her should let Rachel know that that is setting a precedent in their relationship. That man does not respect you. That man sees you as property. That man sees you as a child. He views you as inferior to him. You are a grown-ass woman and you're letting this man sit there and tell you to get the fuck out. Excuse me. And all you have to say back is, my mom and my dad don't talk to me like that. Cuss his yamp ass back out. Ooh, Rachel's a good one. She a better one than me. I tell y'all that. So, don't move in that house, Rachel. Because what this is telling you is that the fact that he is telling you to get the fuck out of your joint apartment, that you move into his house, he's going to make sure you know and remind you that this is my shit. And he's going to be trying to kick you out every chance he gets for every indiscretion that goes against what his type A narcissistic ass wants to have happen and how he views that things should happen. So um, the next morning we see Rachel, or maybe it was evening. So the next day we see Rachel coming in. Jose is cooking. It looked good, like steak and lobster. It looked good. So we see Jose's cooking, and Rachel, he's like casually asks her, "So how was your day?" And she was like, "Are we not gonna talk about what happened last night? You locked me out." So we see the footage of, we see Rachel walk out with, I thought it was production. Some people on Twitter said it was a friend of hers. I thought it was like one of the PAs, one of the production um people that kind of had to step in because they was up in there, going head to head. They not gonna have no even the inkling or the mere threat that there could be physical violence. Not that Jose was going to, but I think when arguments get to a certain escalation point, they come in. So we see footage of production or the friend walking out, Rachel walking out with her, and then we see Jose locking the door. It's like 12:34. We see her at the door at like 1 o'clock, literally half hour later, knocking on the door, and he won't come in. So I'm assuming she walked out without her phone, without her everything. She walked out because I'm assuming I can get back in my shit, when I'm done. So she's walking out with production. She's knocking on the door. Jose takes his ass and goes and gets in the bed and goes to sleep. He knows she is not in the house. He knows she's not in the house. So it's not even like he just locked the door. He deadbolted the door, which, as most people know, some deadbolts only work one way. I'm assuming that's the type of door that is, because she couldn't get in. I guess I'm questioning production. Y'all couldn't let her in? Because I'm assuming production has keys to their house. Because it's not really their house, it's production's house. So that kind of confused me a little bit, that she couldn't get in. So we see her going to everybody else's door, all the other couples' doors, knocking on the door, and hell, it's 1 o'clock at night, so everybody is asleep. So it's unclear if she went home, if they put her in a hotel, whatever happened. So she's talking to Jose about this, and she was like, "Do you not think what you did was wrong?" And he was like, "Apparently it was." I said, "Look at Jose, little sassy ass." Like, he was the epitome of I don't give a flying F during that conversation. And she was like, "Well, you know what? If you can't acknowledge what you did was wrong, I can't." So she was like, "I can't trust you because you locked me out the damn house." So his response is, "Well, I can't trust you either." And he's harping on the fact that she cheated all those years ago. So she was like, "Well, I want a divorce. I can't be in a marriage with somebody that I don't trust, that doesn't trust me." So Jose is like, "All right, cool. Okay. You want me to help you pack? Because I can help you pack. It's some boxes up front. I mean, if you want a divorce, then you want a divorce." And I'm like, why are you doing all that extra knowing damn well this is your last chance at love, Jose? And that's why you're on the show. So Jose is like going in. So Rachel, goes to the bedroom. Production comes out. And I think it was that lady that was there when the night she got locked out. And production was like, "What is going on? You don't want to try to fight for your marriage?" And Jose is like, "No, if she wants a divorce, she wants a divorce. I'm not going to fight someone to stay in my marriage." So Rachel is one of those people who doesn't, in the heat of an argument, they say what they got to say a little bit and then walk away. And then they remember everything else that they wanted to say afterwards. So she comes back out with a sheet of paper, y'all, and was like, "I just want to say one more thing. I wrote this down a couple of days ago. Well, actually, I would say a couple of weeks ago. I don't want you to think that this is just a knee-jerk reaction to what just happened tonight, but it's been a build-up." And she was, I wrote some of it down. Let me see. And she was like, "You are controlling, you're unwilling to compromise. You have a life planned out for me, and it's not a life that we're planning together. You want me to move into your house. There's no compromise. You want me to get a new car. There's no type of compromise. You want to control the finances. There's no type of compromise. You're controlling, you're unwilling to compromise, and you're condescending, right? And Jose is just like, okay, okay. If you want a divorce, then okay. And it's like, nah, Jose, your little pride was hurt because she told his ass too, you need to look at me. Look at me when I'm talking to you so I can tell that you're paying attention and you're not just trying to ignore me and pay me dust like you do ordinarily. So he and I like that she told him too, you're a priority in my life, but I'm my own priority as well. And one of the things that a lot of people were concerned with Rachel is she has said before that she has lost herself in relationships. And she did all this work. She lost all this weight, did all this work internally on herself. Don't get sucked into being what Jose wants you to be because you're that thirsty to be married. You know what I mean? Jose don't want to travel, you want to travel. Jose don't want to do this, you want to. You want to do this, Jose doesn't. So like you have to get into a place within yourself where you find somebody that is willing to compromise with you and you are willing to compromise. Rachel and Jose, that's not going to happen. Then in the argument, Jose was like, well, I'm not going to apologize because I know that that's what you want. And she was like, well, yeah, you need to apologize for locking me out the fucking house. Jose, on the other hand, was just kind of like, well, I'm not going to just tell you what you want to hear. And my whole thing is like, that just tells me Jose has a problem with admitting he's wrong. Even though Jose knows he's wrong, he knows he went too far. He has such an ego and he is such a narcissist that he's not going to allow himself to be put into a vulnerable position where he has to say, you know what? I overreacted to you slipping up and calling me somebody else's name. I overreacted and I did lock you out the house. I overreacted by now, being condescending and stuff in this point. Jose has also said that he has done nothing wrong in the marriage. And he doesn't understand why she has been letting this stuff fester and build and stack upon each other. And he called it, what did he say? He said it was manipulative, it was contrived, it was like premeditated. And it's like, nah, Jose, you are super, super trash for the way you have been talking to this woman. You feel she's beneath you because she does not have the money and the credit score that you have. And you've been like low-key throwing it out at her every chance you get. Taking little jabs, throwing out little shots at her. She's been keeping track of that shit and she's over it. So at the end of the episode, we don't know if she like stayed there that night or whatever. The editing this season is extremely choppy. So we don't know if she stayed there that night, where she went, if she went home, whatever. So the couple days later, we see that the guys are all out at like a driving range for golf, and the girls go to a smash room. So the guys, Jose randomly is like, yeah, marriage is kind of going rough. My wife wants a divorce. Everybody was like, a divorce? Why? The story Jose told, he was like, yeah, she called me by another guy's name. And then, she left the house. I didn't know where she went. She could have went to go be with the other guy. So I locked the door, and I guess I accidentally locked the deadbolt. And then Gil off rip was like, what did you do? We're missing holes in the story. And everybody was just kind of like, the holes are missing. There was a tweet. Let me see if I saved it. Of what somebody said that like all the guys kind of, how they reacted. Gil was like, accidentally. Johnny was like, there's some definite holes in Jose's story. Zach said, I don't know if I necessarily believe that all the way. And then Ryan said, I have never. And when I tell y'all Ryan was dead ass in the screen, Ryan said, I have never accidentally deadbolted the door. So like you could tell that Jose was kind of salty that the guys weren't like believing him, because then he was like, well, she did say back in the day, that she cheated. So, and they were like, has she called you by another man's name before? You think she went out to go like sleep with the man? Why did you lock the door and deadbolt the door knowing your wife wasn't in the apartment? Did you contact her and see where she was? So they're asking all these like very pertinent questions that are like, ding, 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 common sense things. And Jose is just sitting there, just pursed lips, just, you knew you messed up. You knew you was wrong. So, we don't know where they are, where they stand as of yet, but I am Tammy. This has been Married at First Sight. I feel like I said the circle earlier. This has been Married at First Sight. Subscribe to the video, the channel. Thumbs up the video. Leave some comments below. Who do you think was wrong? Do you think Rachel was wrong, or do you think Jose was in the wrong? Do you think it was mutual? Let's talk about it, y'all. Check y'all next week.